Okay, everyone. New setup, new location. Tell me if the audio's off at all. I should be using the decent mic now with the RTX on. Alright, good. Okay, so we have actually a lot of people for beginning part of the stream today. Now, if anyone knows anything about me at all, they know that I'm primarily a homebrew guy, so I'm going to be starting off testing out VBT's and XL2's newest builds. I want to show off Slinga's new save game copier for the Sadiator because it's really, really nice. It's still got a few bugs in it, but you know, what doesn't? And just before I get started, I want to thank, I think it was Amy Girl and Alex13 for following recently. Alex13 is also a Saturn streamer. If you want to go check him out, you can just scroll up in the chat log for that. And one more thing, I want to promote a Patreon, but it's not mine. Sega Extreme is now accepting donations through PayPal and Patreon to keep the forums up, and hopefully I think also to boost the Discord server eventually if there's enough funding. I'm personally a patron right now. I joined as soon as he opened it up, and I'm hoping that anyone else that's interested in this Sega homebrew scene, not just Sega Saturn, but Sega anything, gives it a look over. I'll go ahead and link it in chat. So if you want to help support the Sega Extreme community, the Sega Extreme forums, potentially the Sega Extreme Discord, go ahead and give that a follow and just throw like $1 or $2 his way. You get a nice little forum flair if you do. Okay, so now let's just start off VBT's ongoing work with Wolfenstein 3D. I think this game, XL2's game, I don't have any background music for, so I'm just going to keep the soundtrack on. Keep in mind, this is all running on Sadiator, and XL2 and VBT, neither of them have Sadiators. I believe XL2 uses burn disk. I don't know what VBT uses, but keep in mind that when people are developing this stuff, they don't always have all the tools. So maybe you're using Pseudo Saturn Kai, you're using Fenrir, you're using a Phoebe Array, you're using the mode. There might be certain things that don't work on one ODE that does work on another, and a lot of us don't have an entire suite of tools to test on. So that's part of what we're doing here is we're testing to make sure that something that works in, let's say, emulator also works on real hardware in certain conditions. So I'm pretty sure VBT started working on this for the Saturn. I don't think he did the Game.com part. There we go. Okay, yeah, VBT's still in chat, so you can answer. So we're gonna see if all the whatchamacallits, the bugs have been addressed. I still see the line in the middle of the screen, but I'm sure they'll get it addressed eventually. Remember last time the problem was that when you run out of ammo, you switch to knife, and knife will screw things up. It's fine. Okay, C is fine. Okay, it still kind of gets stuck on the input, but it turns itself off eventually, but at least the response time is good. Okay, the response time is still a little bit slow. So that's one liability in gameplay that might start hurting. I mean, the frame rate, I don't mind 20 frames. I think you can even get away with 12 because a lot of people that played this on DOS played this on underpowered machines. But there's like a miniature delay. Oh, freaking dogs. Yeah, there's a miniature delay between when you press the button and when you start firing, and it could harm a survivability rate. So, Nova, you know that I'm running the contest again this year. I'm going to make the announcement on the 1st, so that's Tuesday night. Things are a lot more professional this year. I've got a council of judges, if you will, or a stable. I don't know what you call it. What's the plural of judges? It's like a murder of judges? I've got a whole bunch of judges. I think I'm up to 9 right now. I'll make the official announcement. You'll recognize almost all their names. They're all big names in Saturn. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a little bit of cross-promotion going on with names that I'm going to name on first. And as always, there's going to be prize money, but this time, you know, because of the judges, there's not going to be any question as to whether or not there's problems with the voting, so they'll actually get distributed to something other than a charity this year. So yeah, the input lag is starting to get to me on this game. Because I don't know if it feels worse than last time, but it is... Like, you see me aiming a little bit to the right or to the left when I start firing, and that's because it's overcorrecting, because it's not unpressing or not depressing, but unpressing the D-pad when I start to sweep, and then when I start firing, it fires, like, after I've already swept the target. Okay. Yeah, you see that fire button got stuck for a little bit, and I think there's some dropped frames that's causing your once a frame check on the inputs to not register. And I think you could address it because I think what you're doing is you're checking for button press and not button held down. And if you switch it to button held down and add some sort of timer feature, that might compensate for the dropped frames. That's what I'm guessing is happening. I'm not sure because I haven't actually looked at your code. Okay. There we go. Okay, I can move and I can stab, but I cannot move and stab. I don't know if that's original behavior or not. Do I need to be standing still in order to stab? Okay, I got stuck for a second there. Okay, I'll give this game a few more minutes. From now on, I'll actually look up how to play this game properly so that I know how to get to the end of the level. Because I haven't memorized any of this, I just kind of like meander about. But next time we do this kind of test, I'll actually just try to not speed run it, but just kind of efficiently run it. So I'm not just going through every corridor every time, especially since I already have all the keys I need. Oh, there we go. Get ticks. Is that your timer function? Can't you just steal my timer that Joe implemented? If you look at the Joe Engine's timer, it's just basically the timer I built a while ago, and it keeps track of time in fixed seconds. So if that helps you, as opposed to a normal timer. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to play games and debug that at the same time, especially without formatting. I think we know enough about Wolfenstein to see how it's playing. You see, it was dropped down to 18 for a little bit, so you know there's a few drop frames that's not like 1/n behavior. So it's still running pretty good. I just have a problem with that center line is still bothering me, and the input lag. But otherwise, I think everything is just kind of working, and you just have to implement back in health and finding keys and stuff. So let's go ahead and go and play Hellslave, which is the new title for XL2's Project Z Tree. Okay, so this should be the latest version as of today. Same with Wolfenstein. So, oh, there's a continue function. Let me try saving a game in XL2. Does this game actually have a save game right now, or is that just a menu placeholder? Okay. Oh. That hurt me? Yeah, that hurt me. Okay. Let's avoid that. You can see the Sega Extreme flags in the lobby. So I guess XL2 is also a proud member of this community. I'm guessing this is the hard mode? Over past the lava pit. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do the normal mode, the way it's supposed to be played. Okay. So you know what? I will attempt a save game, and then we'll play with it a little bit in Slinga's new tool. And then once we're done with this and Slinga's tool, then I'll take some requests from the Sadiator community to see if they want to see any test images from my main US redump image SD card. So, Alex, the Sega Saturn has a netlink that's capable, or it's spec'd for 28K, which basically means assume 14K. This is a completely new level. I don't recognize any of this stuff. But if you're expecting any sort of online feature, expect it to be underpowered. Because remember, PSO was running off of its 56K modem. Assume that the Saturn is going to be running off of like a quarter of that kind of capability in terms of information sharing. Oh, you got elevators now. Yeah, so I just want to point out that for the Saturn, I'm just going to go down there and show it off again. I know I say this every time, but I got a bunch of people in stream, so I want to make sure everyone that's new here notices that there is a transparent floor that I'm standing on that you can see through to some sort of lighting underneath. There's a lot of lighting effects. There's this lens flare type deal going on. And this elevator, which is a non-trivial problem. At least from what I can tell. And here's another transparent effect. This is a water transition. And there you see, the transition to water leads to a different screen coloring. And not only that, but notice I'm up higher than where I was below, so this water is localized. A lot of the times when you implement water in some of these older games, you'll have it just in a generic water level throughout the entire zone. So that you just do a simple Y check or Y coordinate check to see if you're underneath water. Here, I think he's doing some sort of portal implementation. I don't know. XL2, you can talk more about it in the chat log. I know I'm supposed to be looking for some sort of secret room with a button. I probably said this before, but I don't think there's enough appreciation for the edgy, the hedgy soundtrack. Okay, what did I just do? No. Okay, I thought that was a button, but I guess not. Okay, there's a staircase now. Oh, it's a hidden door. There's Pona! What do I do? Touch Pona. Okay, so by touching, you mean just like going up and touching? Oh! Oh, okay. Okay, so for my benefit and for everyone on stream, can you discuss the difference or what you mean by masks? A portal essentially is just loading a segment of the level after you reach a certain coordinate, which is kind of like simple to think of in terms of just like you load a level in chunks at a time. I don't know what you mean by what a mask is, and I think it would be helpful for everyone else that's looking into getting into game dev, especially with the upcoming competition. It's actually a pretty nice looking dog. Where'd you get this, Moth? Oh, hidden. Is this a hidden feature? Something I heard something happen. Oh, guys, check this out. None of you have any idea how hard this problem is, but this is a reflection effect. And I don't know how we implemented it. I don't know if that's a clone of the room behind him or not, but you're basically seeing a reflection of the room, and this should cause the Saturn to start screaming at you. I don't know how XL2 actually did it. Oh, okay, so the mask is an invisible polygon used to hide transparency, which I guess if I sat down to think about it, I'd probably understand more about how that works. But XL2, if you can explain in simple terms, like just like an elevator pitch of how you did this reflection, I want everyone to be impressed by it because I don't think they realize how hard reflections are. So I highly recommend everyone who wants to get into Saturn to get an ODE, not only because the games are so expensive and hard to find anymore. Like, I think a legitimate copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga is currently going for like $1,000 with the case. But also because we've got a lot of these homebrew projects are starting to pick up steam. I'm working on stuff. VBT's working on stuff. A lot of people are working on stuff. XL2, this is his game. Oh crap! Did it just freeze? XL2, I think the game just froze. This is the first time I've seen Project Z-Stream freeze. Anyway, so work in progress. These kinds of things happen. But if you get an ODE for your Saturn, not only do you save money playing the official games, but you get to start playing all this new stuff that's coming out. We have a lot of nice ports and translation projects that are a lot easier to load by loading a patched image than trying to burn the patched image. Especially when Pseudo Saturn Kai, especially the red Chinese carts, don't necessarily work with all the patched images. I know that was the problem with Grandia. And you can constantly just be swapping in new images from updates because these games are constantly being updated and shared on the Sega Extreme forums. Okay, let me go ahead and go over to Slinga's tool. My point being, get yourself an OD. I don't care who it's from or where'd you get it. I know there's a lot of flame wars going on about Sadiator mode and I guess to a lesser extent Fenrir. As long as you get something that works for you, get something that will let you participate in this homebrew scene because we're all putting out games and we're constantly updating stuff and it's better than just constantly throwing away coasters. Yeah, XL2, I didn't expect it either. I was surprised. It was a crash. I mean, I don't know if I can try replicating it, but I want to try and go show off Slinga's stuff. But yeah, it crashed on hardware. I don't understand what was happening. So, maybe the Saturn just kind of choked on it where the emulator might not have. This tool was developed by Slinga of the multiplayer Task Force fame. He did Flicky's Flock, he did 12 Snakes, so you'll remember him from the past contest, and I think he's submitting stuff for the new contest. This save game copier works with the Sadiator. So if you have a Sadiator, you can put save games directly into your SD card. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. I've got my save game cartridge, the official Japanese one, and I'm going to copy... let me see, I already did these guys. Let me see, it's still a work in progress, so sometimes it doesn't completely work out, but let's look at Daytona. So Daytona, we check the integrity of these things by looking at the checksum. So the first 4 digits of the checksum, 1A47, the chances of that being replicated on a bad copy is basically 0. So we're going to copy this to the Sadiator. And this will go into a saves directory underneath wherever the image of this game or tool, whatever you want to call it, this image is stored. So we've copied this save game file that has a checksum starting with 1A47 on the MD5. So we're going to check the MD5 checksum of the save game stored on the Sadiator. If it loads. Because like I said, this This tool is still a little bit finicky, so sometimes it'll hang on me. But I have successfully moved stuff off my Saturn and shared it on Discord, and I'm still waiting on people to try and check to see if they can re-implement it using the same tool and put it in their Saturns. Let me reset real quick. Ah, yeah. So the tool's still in work in progress. The a soft reset didn't quite work. But everyone try to remember that checksum. It was like 1A47, right? For that Daytona save file. So let's try looking at it again. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to access the file info. Oh, it's a bad copy. So this has been a little bit of an issue with this thing because I've been helping Slinga test it a little bit. For larger file sizes, I think larger than the block size of the Sadiator, which should be 2048, the copies don't necessarily come out clean. But let's look real quick at some earlier things I did. So Sonic Jam save file is smaller than 2048 bytes, and it has a checksum. Oh, my phone's yelling at me. Ah. Yeah. So, I have to reset this thing again. I successfully used it on smaller save files. I was probably pushing it by using that bigger save file. Sling is still working on it. It's still very early alpha. But once this work is complete, if you have a Sadiator, you'll be able to put save games directly on your SD card and then go from the SD card, obviously, to wherever you want, including a different Sadiator. Or you could put it onto a CD and burn it and load it up on someone else's Saturn using whatever tool you like. Okay, once more. Sonic Jam. Checksum EC94. Looking at the Sadiator, because I copied these earlier. Come on, load up. Come on. Oh, it's giving me so much trouble. You know what? I think it's not able to access the Sadiator drive completely using this menu, but you're going to have to take my word for it that when I check the checksum inside of Windows, the checksums matched for Rayman and Sonic Jam, which both had save game file sizes below 2048. Like I said, Sling is still working on this, so it's a work in progress, but when he does eventually finish, I don't know if it's going to be very fast or very long, but I think it's going to be a very substantial tool for those who have a Sadiator, which is currently being sold out to the patrons right now in the queue, and will probably be very soon available to the wider Saturn community to easily move save games around. And the save game feature also should work for just copying files over through different methods, at least from disk into the Saturn. I don't know how with the mode or the Rhea, if you could, or the Fenrir or whatever, you could find a way to get it into those SD cards, because the APIs are going to be completely different. It would have to be completely redeveloped. But at the very least, if you have a Sadiator, this looks like a tool that down the line will be very useful. So I think that's all the homebrew games I had tonight. If XL2, if you want me to try Hellslave again, I can. Otherwise, I can take requests for official games that you guys want to see tested on Sadiator to make sure that it works. Okay, well, okay. let me give XL2's game another shot, and I'll just try to speed through it using the same settings, and then I'll go in and I'll give it Resident Evil a shot. Because yeah, XL2, I don't know when his kid is going to interrupt his stream time or whatever, but I want him to be able to debug this so that, you know, this doesn't happen again on someone else's hardware. So I'll try getting to the point that I was before, and if it doesn't crash, then we'll mark it off as a fluke, and then I guess XL2 and I can work together on trying to figure out how it happened. And then afterwards, we'll play a little bit of Resident Evil. Okay, so I see. I didn't notice the first time, but I was grabbing keys, and the keys are unlocking doors, which makes sense. I'll leave Ponit alone this time. I'm trying to remember where the crash happened. We have the room with the mirror in it, so we got reflection effect. Okay. Did I go through here somehow? No. Oh, I remember it triggered something. Okay, so this triggered something. Oh, there we go. I was supposed to go through here. I think this is where I crashed last time, so I couldn't replicate it. Oh, you know what? I bet it had something to do with loading this massive freaking room. Look at this thing. Okay, again, for those of you not into Saturn Homebrew, this is a massive room, and the standard way of drawing stuff in the Saturn, it would generally use some form of frustrum culling, so something very close to you doesn't get drawn, and something very far away from you doesn't get drawn. So the fact that we can see things this far away is not standard, which means something weird is going on in terms of how XL2 is doing stuff. I don't know if he wants to explain how he's doing stuff in a simple way that non-developers can understand. But you should be impressed, is what I'm trying to get at here, because it's so huge, and you can see all of it. Like, this would be great for, imagine if we were porting Mario 64, or maybe a toned-down version of Sonic Adventure, you could actually fit a realistic-sized level there. Maybe not Sonic Adventure, but definitely Mario 64, this would be comparable in size. Okay, so XL2, I beat the level, so I couldn't replicate the crash. I'm thinking that it was just a fluke having to do with loading that massive room. So maybe I just approached it at the exact wrong angle or something, or maybe the Saturn's just being finicky. But you might have to tone it down a tiny bit, because it was right before that room when it crashed, and I think that's where you're loading it. Let's move on to Resident Evil, and if anyone else has any other games they want to see on the stage here, we can do that too. Okay, I think this is the first time I'm loading Resident Evil, and the first time I load any image, for some reason it takes a minute to load up. I don't know what's up with that. I'll ask Abrasive about it later. We'll give it a minute, and oh, okay, there it is. The second time you load it, it's always really fast. I think it's building something, I think. I just don't know what it could be, because when I asked Abrasive about it last time, he said it shouldn't be building anything. Let's turn off the background music, because I think this game is actually going to have something to it. That looks nothing like Jill Valentine. That hardly looks like Chris Redfield. Okay. Oh, XL2, you're using the DSP on that? Neat. I mean, the timing with the DSP is tricky, so maybe you just something is a little too slow or something. I don't know.
Alpha team is flying around the forest zone.
See you, VBT. Thanks for coming in. So XL2, if you wanna bug check Hellslave some more, then next after a couple days from I'm gonna be working on some stuff, but after a couple days, I can try and help you out on the evenings to try and figure out what's going on in terms of just running test scenarios.
Outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
This is actually decent quality video. Probably because it's black and white or something.
It was Bravo team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there.
Holy crap.
However, they soon discovered why.
These guys look silly. Did they use the same actors for the pictures in the license cards? Because they don't look the same.
Hey! Come here!
Acting. How long is this cutscene? Should I just skip it and go to the game? I've never actually played this game before.
Jill, run for that house!
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We don't know where Barry is.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine.
What's on her shoulders?
Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Yeah, guys, that might be the internet here. I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
Barry! Where's Barry?
Well, I'm sorry, but he's probably...
No. What is that?
I'll go and check.
Okay, Jill and I will stay in the hall in case of an emergency.
Chris? Chris? Take care. Take care.
Okay, I was wondering if that was a bug or something, or if something's wrong with the image, but it's just that's the sound of the clock, isn't it? Oh, I hate tank control so much. Uh, So, guys, if the buffering issues, I think has to do with my internet connection. Like, I'm supposed to be pushing 4,000 kilobits per second, and I'm jumping between like 600 and 2,000. So, I think the VOD is going to come out a little bit better than what you guys are seeing live. I'm sorry. I'll try to fix it before the announcement stream on Tuesday. So, policy changes. If you go into the description down either here or on YouTube, you'll find the Sega Extreme Discord invite link, and you should definitely join us there. How do I? No, 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 no. Where's my gun? B? Why would they map that to B? How do I attack? Oh, that is irritating. Okay, you hold down the shoulder and then you press B in order to swing. So there goes several liters of my own blood and what appears to be, I guess that's Barry in his head. Are you kidding me? I killed him! Again. Alright. Oh god. No, I don't think I want to do that again. Well, let's try with Jill, I guess, for a little bit. If there's no other games anyone wants to see, I think I'm going to pack it in early tonight because the internet issue is becoming a real problem. Because I'm pretty sure you guys are responding to stuff I'm saying like a full minute and a half or 2 minutes after I actually say it. So what's going on is that my internet is slowing things down, so you guys are seeing a buffer, but it's actually just playing catch up on my end, pushing the video out. And so it just adds up to just more and more delay. Yeah, so okay, by the time okay, I'm just now seeing the message, Alex, that you're saying for me to use the shield to move the clock.
Wow. What a mansion.
Oh, this is different. So it took that long for me to see that message, which means I am severely delayed right now.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
So I'm gonna lose this game a little bit worse this time, and then I think I'm gonna pack it in for the night.
Don't open that door.
But Chris is.
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay. Let me handle this. Stay alert.
A dining room.
Okay, so Jill is the easy mode of this game, right? That's what I'm getting from this. So my capture setup is a retro tank, not any of the new ones, but one of the older ones. So I have the HD Retrovision cords
What?
going through the retro tank. The retro tank's going to a hoppage. The hoppage is going into my laptop.
What is
The weak link right now is the Wi-Fi connection I'm using to stream. I'm solving that problem soon.
See if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this.
I'm sorry about that, XL2, about the
Hope
crash.
this is not Chris's blood.
Like I said, I'll help you figure it out off stream, because it looks like my internet is starting to become a liability. I guess Chris Redfield is dead or something. So there's like divergent timelines in this game. I have no clue what to do. Okay, what am I meant to do here? If you want to push limits on the Saturn, you generally want to go with Burning Rangers, maybe Knights, and there's probably a racing game out there that does a lot of stuff. Okay, I don't know how far behind my delay is, but I'm definitely not playing more Resident Evil, so let me try booting up Magic Knight Rayarth, assuming it's on this card.